Hello, little folks. Welcome back to Gnomes. So today, this is more like pseudo tutorial thing. I'm gonna republish this result. So basically, this is the most ridiculous thing that we can do in Blender, like vanilla Blender. Don't need editing. It is a bit tricky, but so this works as two ways. I haven't tried as a dynamic custom pivot for the foot rolls, but I have already tried for this F key arc, simultaneous IK F key, right? So it's a single structure and a rig setup that is super ludicrously simple, and it is that serves two purposes, but it also is combined with keyframing tactics. So this is not new. This is like possibly this relates a lot to IK F key snapping and like toggling property, custom properties, stuff like that, right? So what we have here is that I can change. You see the arcs of motion here. I was able to deploy here a system like there's just two bones, right? The master IK hand, like it's a loose bone, but then we have a parent F key bone that in some way is not really connected to the body. It's actually parented offset to the master COG, right? But which carries this, yeah, through parent inheriting, right? Eventually. So essentially we have this into this and then this into here, right? So the thing is that it's just this. There is no, ignore this bone constraint. This is for nothing to do here. It's not important. It's for high heel boots, removable, so it's nothing to do. Here we had, but since it's parented here, it doesn't need, and this is just another setup. It doesn't matter. Also, is to pin this to some part of the body. Fake parenting, puppy transforms, bone constraint, right? A mix. All right. Anyways, so we're not using this right now. What we doing so is presenting how this works. So you see that there's a lot of arcs here being formed over time, and they seem mostly good. There still might be something about the corners that I don't know how to control. For some reason here it was curved, and at some other point it was sharp. So in principle I would like it to be sharp, but I don't know what's happened there. But so instead of using a custom property, we'll have to re-keyframe certain things like this, and essentially we just need to do this to two bones, so far that I understand, is the parent arc F key arm and the master IK. So I'm gonna destroy this, right? Destroy this, go back here, and let's reset all the posts, right? With all the, okay, I need to check all my bones, right? So here we're gonna start with all these keyframes here. It's fine. And now we're gonna start by, can I move this torso? Yes. Okay, of course, this, you see, the bone here doesn't follow. What allows it to follow is the center of gravity. The center of gravity can indeed change everything. Could also be the root bone, but I have a center of gravity, so anyways. And of course, this is working as a loose bone, so it's not really. Wait, why didn't calculate? It's struggling to calculate. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, so it's a bad, it's not even an arc, but we can solve this creepy way. Okay. For some reason it is doing like this. Why is it doing like this? Maybe it got some constant effect, I don't know. And not constant, linear maybe. Okay, I don't know why it is doing like that. Oh, maybe it needs another keyframe, right? Okay, but anyways, this is not important. Let's just remove this and re-keyframe it at the very beginning. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna use this torso motion just to give some complexity here, because I haven't tested thoroughly everywhere, but you see it doesn't move. So what we want to do, let's also make this bone do something here. So we're gonna check its range, right? So you see, so this is an arc that was done manually, so it's not a really spontaneous circular arc of motion. It has got 3 keyframes, so that's why this is a breakdown. So if I delete this, then apparently my curves are not updating. Motion paths, update paths, Control Shift T. Let's see if that works. Yes, so you see it's linear. So of course this is not what we want. We want to, but let's keep it so that we can see what's going on, right? So now we're gonna do the F key arc of rotation. So through the parent, which is in the same control rig, right? It's not an F key bone layer. Yeah, we could, but it's really, we could set this for each bone that is a loose bone if we want. Like imagine for each tweaker bone, that will be ridiculous. Not important, right? The idea is just for the master bones, which are very important. And there's already a setup from someone that made some Simultaneous IK rig that I still have to retry to see if there's no caveats to this, but it seems accurate. It is something IKFK together on YouTube, something like that. So it's a unique video that shows a solution that seems plausible, but I haven't studied thoroughly enough. I think it works, so it can do the F key is inside the I key. And in this case, the I key is inside the F key. So this is a different strategy. And what you're gonna do so is that, okay, this bone is not, you see, it's not in the pivoting point that we want, but so I want to get it to here. We could get this into here. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna move this. Yeah, you see, if we move, it's not good, right? So I'm gonna duplicate it. Also, I'm gonna isolate some bones here, just so that we can see better what's going on. Yeah, we want to see this, right? So I'm gonna get this bone, the RF key arm, and I'm gonna set the key, get the keyframe here, Shift D. So it's a total copy here. So it's a hold. We could set to constant, but this takes too long. Blender is crappy. Blender is, it's very difficult to be handling this manually. I have tried. I don't know any good workflow. There are a lot of things that need to be improved. So this hold is better. Sometimes the hold, if the data here are analyzed differently, then we don't get the hold spontaneous. Have to select the whole block of the bone channel and re-keyframe the bone. Then it gets the, of course, with not a keying set that could ruin the process, so that will do the hold data exactly like this, while anything else is not hold. So this one is held. So from this, we're gonna just jump to the next keyframe. Now you're gonna, you see that there is a point that I decided could be anywhere, right? But okay, we had a point there. We're gonna Shift S selection to cursor, and oh my god, my hand has gone nuts. Yeah, no problem. Go back, find the Shift S selection to, no, cursor to selected or cursor to active, it depends. I think it's here in the pose mode, it's not a problem. So the bone is here, and I've got, so it's a parent offset, of course, so that means that in spite of the parenting relation, I can move it back, and it's just one frame that I need to do this. So Shift S, selection to cursor, and here it is. And so you see that at the next step, what's happening is that my custom pivot, or my arcf key arm for the whole arm, is there, and this will pivot anywhere that we want. Well, as long as we have this keyframing strategy. And you see there is, just ignore the summary and these two channels here. So this is the summary and this, so it doesn't matter. So what we want is just to consider that there is not this, not this, there's just this, right? And here I'm gonna get anywhere. Here we're gonna get the bone. Oh, there's another bone here. Okay, get here and rotate. Let's do this. You see, this is crazy, right? It's try to form the arc of motion, and there we go. So we have true spontaneous and circular arc of motion from the pivoting of this bone. Okay, what do we do next? Well, let's ruin this just a little. Okay, we can mix them up, right? So the loose bone now will have some interaction with this FK arc. So that's fine. It's a crazy thing, okay? But then we want another pivot point for this master IK. So what we do, we need to set up these keyframes, I think, yeah, something like that. Then let's say that I want to held. This one doesn't need to be held, right? It can go anywhere, we don't care, because it will be changed anyway. So at least the position, right, the location. So I want to get this pivot point, I don't know, I want to get this pivot point like somewhere crazy enough. Well, let's just get it here. It makes no sense, but just to indicate that it is possible. So now get back here. This was the previous location of the hand. Got here. Okay, so there is a strange... Oh, I know what's happening. It didn't finish the motion, right? So you see it's not held. I don't know what happened. So what you're gonna get is... Okay, let's insert keyframe here. Then Shift D, there is hold. And then for here, what we want to go back. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but we get the idea, I hope. So I got this, I want this position. Back here, select the here and Shift S selection to cursor. And so now the hand is still. And from this position, I can start pivoting. Actually, we don't need this, right? What we want is that from here we will start. Well, we could do something like this, but we're gonna start just for organization. Then we pivot the hand. Of course, this is a terrible, it's not even here, which will not totally work for F key for arm, of course, because this is a I key, right, in bone constraint, right? But it doesn't matter, it's a pivot point. It's a custom pivot point. No, it's even behind. Okay, so what we do is gonna rotate the, and this will effectively create, that's a bit strange, but recalculation. Now I'm scared. I think just this moved, right? No, there are more stuff that moved that I can't understand. Let's see. Yeah, it shouldn't have destroyed this once, but okay. Maybe this pivot is bad for this upper arm, but anyways. We see that it pivoted, right? About here. And it made the arc around this weird pivoting position, right? See, now we're gonna go further. And we're gonna make some a bit more advanced here, because all this stuff, right, if it's not too advanced, it's not that good, right? So we're gonna keyframe everything here, and let's get this and make this thing go up, right? Why it doesn't update? Yeah, okay, so it's linear motion. So I want to get my pivot back, because I want now to make a... So where is... Okay, I'm gonna keyframe this bone. It is here. Okay, so we're gonna Shift D. And I'm gonna change its position. Let's bring it back to where it should exactly. There. And now we see that we have a problem with here, right? But when we get back there, and we gonna place the hand there. So you see the pivot warps just as it were in a constant interpolation mode for the F curve, right? Keyframe, and or F curve interpolation, right? And so and the hand stays in place between these important keyframing. So that means that from now I can do this, and you see that it's not just visual, because you see what will happen here. There's not like just so I was trying to do this with the this use as pivot with the widget custom shape override transform, but the problem is this pivot is just for pose mode, so it's pure for 3D animation. It doesn't pivot for 3D animation, so it gives the illusion that we are pivoting from the 3D cursor or from the bone, whatever. So I was using that setup, and because I was seldom thoroughly testing and not posing the character on the most likely the rest pose without changing the, so I wasn't being able to find out that the interpolation wasn't really working. It was working for the rest pose and similar, but it was just as the 3D cursor and transform yeah, 3D cursor transform pivot point. So it just works for pose, posing, right? But not for keyframing bone data. So that is the ruinful, that the ruin of Blender. If we got the 3D cursor as interpolation, F-curve interpolation keyframing, in interfering on the bone data regarding the 3D animation keyframing, then that would be effectively an ephemeral rigging technique, ephemeral animation, ephemeral rigging for 3D animation, right? But currently it's not, and so this thing is also garbage because it will just confer the same illusion here. But here we don't have this problem because we're gonna indeed make an arc. Aha! And you see, it's the same tactic over and over again. So tell me what you think, if this is better than IKF key switch. You know, I was watching some CG dive tutorial on that. I've seen some workflows on even professional 3D animators in using Blender, like in Blender Studio, and I couldn't, how do you say, wrap one's mind. I wasn't around something. I wasn't still able to grasp the coolness of IKF key switch. I'm being very diplomatic here, folks. I mean, this thing it works, right? I understand a bit more why it is so important, but here, you see, with just a few tricks, of course, the IKF key snap, I think it sort of tries to automate this. Yeah, sometimes we can make some mistakes, but you see what's happening here. Yeah, I think I just need I just need probably to get here and then get this. Nope, that didn't work. So it's the hand is starting moving. That's fine. It's not wrong. It says immediately I decided to have the hand moving. So then you see that, okay, this is, look at this. So I'm changing manually, yes, but I'm not keyframing any, I'm not opening. Did you saw me opening this panel at any moment? No, for custom, changing some keyframing slider custom property. No, it's just fucking two bones and some keyframing, which could be probably, if we could have a system that could automate that smartly, that would be great. But I'm still testing it, right, to be fair, and I think this is the best thing that I've ever achieved in terms of simultaneous IKF key, besides some experimental things with I mean, this is the closest that I get for a very spontaneous solution. It's not too hard to use. You see, it just used the crudest rig setup, which is a parenting offset relation. And the rest is based on keyframing abilities, right? And so you see, so I'm still investigating, okay, what are the limits of this, right, guys? So, and girls, if you can find some answers to this, in principle, I believe this is good enough to solve a lot of problems. And actually, another application would be the custom pivot for the foot rolls. So let's say that we're gonna go for this because I think I even have. Okay, let's say that will be my custom pivot here. Okay, so I was trying with the bone constraints and nothing works. So this works finally, right? So what we're gonna do is the similar stuff. We are gonna parent this to where this thing should be parented to. It shouldn't be. It should be parented to the COG, right? Yeah, symmetric. Okay. So what we're gonna do is that. Bad when the right side, left side is red. I don't know. I'm gonna decide this color is better. So this pivot, we're gonna use this as a pivot. And the way to do this, after I found this possibility here, right? Of course, we could certainly change the. We could give this, we could do many things, right? We could make this bone like a, yeah, we could make it an octahedral, then we could snap, why not? Yeah, I started doing this, right? But it's ugly, right? But of course, the best thing would be to give them the, right, it works exactly like this, right? So we are, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna get it like line. I have two of this. Oh, this is the, okay, why not use this? Yeah, we can use this. So they don't want this, we can reset this, and this will be confusing, right? So we don't want this. Apparently those data are not symmetrized. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, you see they are not symmetrized, but so this is a bug I have to report. But here, look at this. So you have some crazy data here everywhere. So you can always do something like this. Control C, copy attributes add-on, I think, inbuilt or extension, I'm not sure. Super useful. I just found copy IK limits. Yeah, great. But copy bone shape. There we go. And this, oh yeah, it doesn't solve this. So we have, got. Okay, this is normal. Yeah, so it's a bug in the symmetrizing system. Okay, I don't like the shape, to be fair, but it will get confusing with others, right? Okay, let's just use this. It will be on front of the other bones also, so it's very, very bad, right? Wire, yeah, it's just temporary stuff, right? So for now, I have to decide later, or just use it as, leave it there, right? Maybe some sort of box thing, an arrow thing, yeah. Again. Yeah, like something like that is not that bad. Also, you can get something. Oh, yeah, this Okay, so finally let's get the pivot thing to work. So basically currently I just have this pivoting, this I'm not even sure I need, but yeah, we have, maybe I need to fix this in this. I didn't want this one actually, because I'm gonna use, I need this one because this is the toes roll effect, the special case, right? So this I'm probably gonna dump, although it's a facility, you have to counter animate this, it's bad. This too, but this is the extra case, so let's do this. And so you just need this bone and this bone, right? We're gonna isolate them, keyframe them. Now we're gonna make the control keys my custom path making here. Motion path, yeah, calculate and clear, okay. So it start here, we gonna pivot from here. Oh, we don't have the parenting. Keep offset. So this master IK foot, so it's a master IK foot parented to this pivot foot rolls, and this will create the arc of motion for the tip of the toes pivot. Tip of the toes. Okay, it didn't keyframe, of course. Let's reset here. You want to do a local X to make it simple, right? All right, so you see it works, right? So now I'm gonna change the pivoting, the pivot position. We're gonna make it pivot there, right? So we're gonna shift the here. And then we're gonna, let's make it pivot here, up here, okay, exactly there. And then, oh my god, the foot, yeah, but no problem, because if we go back, it's keyframe, we know that the foot has got this position, and we're gonna bring it back, and now we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna pivot like this, and so it's very close. And okay, what was this hellish thing? Looks like we got a problem. So maybe it's not good for pivot here. What was this? Because some intricacies, or no, I just got, of course I got, no panic, I know what's going on. So just the foot shouldn't move, right? Aha, the foot is static. I did just forgot to keyframe the foot, right? And here we go, and it's true, it's working. Why this is so slow? Of course, because we, okay, and let's say that I want to make a small tweak in the animation here, because why not, right? There's some stupid breakdown. Okay, see that the breakdown here will ruin the interpolation in terms of, yeah, it sort of smooth out everything, but yeah, funny. So I don't know exactly, it seems to be affecting the curvature of the whole motion path. So this is something maybe someone else can explain. It's just ruining the, not ruining, it's just changing the whole thing, right? So it's weird, right? I think it's about it's changing all the curvatures on the graph editor, something about like these handles. It's probably changing them. Normalize. It's probably changing the type of handlers as it does this. It's but this is too much for me. This is annoying. Let's just try to, it's R, right? V vector This probably will destroy the animation. I don't know what I've done here. In theory it's good, but in practice it's like ridiculous. So R, let's see, no, it's okay. So how could I get just the vectors before? I don't understand. Handle types. Ah, it's V, of course, not. Okay, automatic. Oops, I think I accidentally keyframe something. Okay, so the breakdown sort of make everything the same way. Let's try a last auto clamped. No. Free. Not sure this is working. Alt T, Control T. Yeah, no, never mind. I don't know how to control this thing, but the fact, yeah, it happened when I did the keyframing of that. But we're gonna change the custom pivot of this now to the part that I wanted, right? Here. And you see I'm just using one bone. So it doesn't matter if the bone is, it doesn't matter where the bone is. So I'm gonna change this here. We're gonna put this pivot here, then we go back. Something went wrong. Of course, we needed to frame it here before, maybe here. Yeah, so keyframe both of them. So I'm gonna move it there, and this needs to be the mini bake here that doesn't affect too much. Okay, so it's there is some strange motion here which I don't seem to be able to. Oh yes, I see what's happening. It's because we probably need to yeah, you see they are not hold, they need to be held accountable. So now we got, they are not moving, it's just one keyframe, 22 to 23. Then we go here, where is the this, and now go back, I get the foot, go forward, place it there. No, so apparently we need to get back. What went wrong? No, of course I used the wrong pivot, right? There we go. Yes, so the wrong position. So from here we shall pivot. Yeah, what we want to do? We want to do this. Yeah, you see it's working. We want to do also a combined thing here. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it is the pivoting. Is it even here? So I say it's pivoting around the heel. And now let's change the pivot again. No, let's not change the pivot again. Let's insert keyframe here, right? The foot is not moving. So there's a question, what if this thing interpolates, right? So then I don't have the answer, but let's get this pose here, okay? So I'm not changing this, right? So I'm gonna keyframe that, hold. Now I want to, again, if everything is moving, I have tested for the other bones, but you see this is, in principle, if we can still do this, because the parent of this ultimately is, and nothing else controls this bone, right? Just our manual posing, the center of gravity, not the root bone, not even the torso, right? For reverse IK here. So that means that nothing can really ruin our system, but if we make wrong interpolations, cross stuff and get confused, then it's very easy to mess up, but it's not too hard, right? So we need to, so we're gonna do the trick again. So get them 2 keyframe. It's big, but it's just 1 frame of difference. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna change the position. Now we want to make this pivot point here, just for this bone. And now we go back, we want to pick this position, and we're gonna get it here. So here, you see, it's constant warping. And now if I rotate, yeah, this is a rotation, of course, but this is not the pivoting. What I want is the, okay, now I changed the foot rate. That's not a good idea. So I want to pivot. It would have worked for demonstration, but now we want to pivot, I think is the Z. Yeah, so note that in the rigs of the custom pivots which are static, you can't even do this because well, maybe you can. Yeah, maybe you can. But sometimes you devise it to stop just here and not go the other way around. And then the problem is that, yeah, it can't go like this if we have a single controller, like the foot roll controller that is the back of the foot. This one that is in this one, right? I like to use it for all the things so that only it gets the keyframing. And but then we can't do this. So anyways, look at this. Let's what is the Z? Yes, the GZZ double Z. Maybe this is not the best custom pivot. The bone is all messed up, right? So maybe here we can just trackball, or I think from view, I'm not sure this would that work, or local. I think the bone is warped up, it's all messed up, right? So yeah, so there are some disadvantages. We need to align the bone properly for various cases, but I think let's try the view. Yeah, to be fair, it's hard to see, but anyways, I forget the right thing. But you see, the pivoting is nuts, and it works. So after the, okay, so now what if we, yeah, now let's do something a bit more crazy here. Let's say that, you see, I haven't keyframed the foot, Let's do something. Let's cross and see what hellish stuff it provides. Let's also bring back to the local. So it's trying to keyframe in different ways, and yeah. So let's do something like that. It will change all that. Yeah, it's sort of adapting. It's indeed the pivot I was getting. Yeah, so you see it combines the stuff, right? And it just works, right? But we need to be careful about the... looks like... Is this correct? Yeah, it just looks weird, but it's just because this is too short in... Yeah, and from here, why not? We could reset the rotation of this. Maybe the rotation, not the position, just the... Okay, apparently it's not a good idea to reset the rotation of this. So we'll have to sort of derotate the foot of the poor girl heroine manually. And is this parenting rotation could be any dangerous thing? Yeah, it could be dangerous, but then I think we can solve this by dressing, for example, here, and then let's say that I reset. No, hold on. We're gonna... Yeah, so this is an interesting question, because now I want to reset. This is weird, right? Okay, we're gonna reset this. And now I sort of lost my foot position, right? But it's not just the foot location, there's also a foot. So I have to copy the rotation, but there's no other bone to reference it. Like, so I cannot select the same bone on different time zones. So that means that I cannot copy visual rotation. Control V. I think, yeah, like, so there is some trouble, but we could, yeah, so the rotation here, if it's not, if we reset, it can cause some trouble, but, yeah, so this is one inconvenience that global space, global transform. Let's see. I don't think this copy, paste. All right. Okay. So the global transform seems to have bypassed this problem because, of course, so we don't need this, but yes. Okay, so you see, it's not a problem. So we solved even this crazy stuff, right? And so with this pivot, yeah, we can still play around and let's say and do more. So we can do simultaneous IK with this technique, this method. We can also do dynamic custom pivot. And the proof is that all that I've done here, you see all this done through this trick. And this is a loose bone. It's a master IK foot bone, and I've mimicking the foot roll. So the only foot roll that I really need here, I was even thinking maybe we can use this pivot to do this, even this, but yeah, this is more tricky. But it might be possible. The idea would be to get this bone and this bone, well, the foot bone, all the mechanism here until the, of course they need to connect with the IK leg, but to do the ankle leverage system. But what we need is, in my understanding would be to allow us to make rotations of a controller bone here, but at the same time not make the other control bone here to change while this pivot. So this is tricky, and the problem is how to lock it temporarily without having to keyframe any custom property, keyframe change of bone constraint, because all that is garbage. Sometimes it's the only way around in Blender that I know, but yeah, so here what we are doing is keyframing directly the bone transforms, right? And you see that the same method solves two big issues, can solve two major issues in Blender. One of them is the simultaneous IK key with some workaround here. We want to, so it works for both things. The thing is that, yeah, we don't want to have this everywhere, because imagine you have to do this for a few bones when you the master IK, maybe for the, I don't know, the forearm, the shin, yeah, could be useful, but it's very easy, right? We could use for the tweaker bone, for example. Let's see if that works, right? Although my tweaker bone is more complicated. Yeah, it could be more complicated because of the joint here where things get messed up. Just as these joints are super complicated, they make special rig cases, right, for everything. For every little thing that we design the rig, this makes change. Okay, so they need to adapt. So we could. So the good thing about this is that we are able to make the arcs for the master IK bones, and even for pivoting foot rolls, right? So while if you do a simultaneous IK key inside the IK, which there are some already mentioned a tutorial on YouTube which address this, IK key together, something like that. We still don't have the possibility to F-key arc D on various dynamic pivots. I just want to follow this, but if we have it, follow it through parenting, and the bone stays right, it will always be pushing like this, right, as we pose, and we don't, like, it will always be pushing, right, and we don't want that. Exactly, we don't want that. This will be not good. This will ruin the pinning, right? So what we do is that we leave this unparented, well, leave it parent to the same bone that would be the next in the chain, F-key chain for this, and then the root bone, of course. But then by doing this, we are forced to adapt the pivot. Well, we could pivot from here if we want, right? But when we do this, we just have to let's do Let's do something here, right? Just another last demonstration. So you see my pivot is in the wrong place. This could cause creepy effects. No problem, we're gonna have here, so we're gonna find this spot. We get just this bone, we're gonna move it there. Actually I did wrongly. We're gonna get an extra keyframe for this stuff. Then we're going to do this. As for I think we got to do this. Okay, I don't get this. Why it is. Oh, it's because of this. Yes? No. It's not the widget. It's not changed. Okay, I don't know it, but let's just move manually. Yeah, can't figure out why. So this is weird. It didn't happen before. Oh, it's because of this. Okay, of course. So maybe I should find another solution for this. Maybe it's not important. But anyways, this is extraordinary. It doesn't matter. So here, okay, we got this. Yeah, I need to keyframe, of course. Okay, there. Then we got here. We need to go back, find here, and go forward. Move the hand here, and so now we have the wrong direction. Okay. So it was here, now it is here, and from here we can just start rotation for pivoting. Yeah, F key arm, there we go. Yes, you see? This is indeed correct, right? And now let's do more. Let's keyframe this. Let's also keyframe this. Let's move the torso, like move away. Okay, I'm just doing some interpolation here, doesn't matter. Why the thing is tilting? No, it was just an illusion. So here we got the new position. Insert keyframe here. Got here. We're gonna match this again. Yes, we want this. Then for the we keyframe this, we duplicate, we go back. I want this one, and we want to move it there. So now I have this. Yeah, it's offset, but it's not a problem, because what matters is that we have the possibility now to, you see that this will vanish, and this keyframe here, no, this keyframe will vanish, I guess. We're gonna arc like this. Yes, we can also do some rotation with the, what is the, yeah, I can combine multiple rotations from the F key. Not that we need that totally, but here we go. And what, yeah, so the torso, of course, we can keep moving because the torso is like, doesn't, yeah, it will move the pivoting, right? So this could cause some issues in the pivoting. Yeah, so this will be a problem if we are doing this motion simultaneously, because then the pivoter is getting displaced. So this is the first, I don't know if it's a major problem, but it's, yeah, it would need some baking, right? Unless we, yeah, it's the only way, smart baking, that could make it match. So also where it is, yeah, so it is here. Yeah, otherwise we'll have to do this manually. So yeah, so it's because the torso bone doesn't carry the that bone, while the, and it is moving the pivot point, the location that you want, right? However, this bone would not cause a problem if we were to do it, because the center of gravity will also change everything, right? But unfortunately, for something like the torso, or even a bone like this one, right? Maybe there's an easy workaround, but I can't figure right now. It's a new issue here. Let's say that, yeah, I still have this just fix this pose a little. So let's say that I have the torso moving. Yeah, it will move. It's a loose bone, but let's say that the hand is not moving, at least. So that, or we could make it move as well, but what we want is that I want a pose here. I want to see if I can catch the same individual bounding box. Of course, this will change the, okay, got some idea here. And this looks like the other strategy that I used. So I just want the reference of this hand for this, but it will make it, yeah, I have to probably bake it all the time, right? Because, yeah, it will keep doing F key frame by frame, right? Yeah, so this is a problem. So this is where dynamic motion, right? If the pivot point gets dynamic, like really, if the pivot point keeps moving in point, then and the hand needs to not stay still, but what was this? It's hard to explain this stuff, right? If I'm recording, and it's hard to imagine who's watching. But must be familiar with that thing, right? A lot. So yeah, so the problem is that there was an arc. Well, I have to do this more over and over again to make sure, but the fact is that we can probably, need to, like in real thing of 3D animation, like in most case scenarios, animators, they are not dumb. They can solve stuff on their own, like tweaking, but there's kind of stuff that are really bad, right? And this kind of thing that require baking is one of those things, countering animation all the time. But it's not like you need to fall into this every time you animate. Like I did like a 1 minute animation, and I was not even using, like for last month, I was not even using it was a Rigify rig. I was not even I was doing the whole thing, full house of animation, or cartoon animation, right? Lots of action, lots of arcs, and I was not even using the F key rig. I was just using the I key rig. So it's like, and I was being able to do pivoting. Yeah, the pivoting maybe not, but for everything on the body motion, the acting, yeah, I was able to figure out some way around. So it's like you can go creative in the keyframing, the animation, to also to prevent entering some garbage full mechanical shit, right? And so, but of course, ideally here I don't even know what I need to dissolve in order to get back to the main idea, right? So anyways, there seem to be, yeah, so yeah, because this changed if I change here, what that creates, okay, the hand stays in place. So why was that a problem? Yes, I just remember now. So is what the problem was, if I need to pivot this while in motion, while the torso is also moving, then the hand will not stay in place, will not be pinned in place, unless, yeah, okay, so you want hardcore stuff, so this is a trick. So you could have yeah, it's a garbage workflow, but this could sort of solve the thing. Like you can do this, and this hand will never move now. So no, it's not this bone. It still moves. Okay, how can it move? Okay, yeah, I needed one more block here. Channel blocked. No, how is it possible? Limit location. Workspace. Limit location with parent. Okay, it also needs a limit rotation, right? Limit everything? No, okay, don't have, but yeah, like this is one way to lock that would be a proposal for ephemeral rigging in Blender with the auto IK option. This will be a way to pin a bone on demand that would behave a bit like, so it would need to, I don't know, work on parenting of set or disconnect the bone temporarily from the chain, right? And then, for example, if you want to pin this, I have a setup for that, but it's not the auto. So then it will disconnect the bone. Then disconnected, this will it will respond to the limit location. In the limit so what we need to do here is just that we could keyframe this we could just we really need this. Yeah, possibly we need this anyways. Then oh yeah, but this doesn't solve the... Yeah, it will solve the problem for a moment, like just enough maybe so that we could like I don't know, until here, keyframe that and that, and this is start to get garbage stuff, right? I don't even know where it is. Yeah, so this start to become very crappy, right? Why the hand is moving, by the way? Okay, because it's not limited, right? It was limited until here. So actually it's an inversion. Okay, this is recording, right? So hand is free, hand is not free. That means that... Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, right? So this could get even more confusing, right? Because here I'm not changing the value, I'm not assessing the values that are there, right? So it could be misleading. Then you got a lot of transforms here, and yeah. So here I'm not sure what I'm doing. So there might be some workflow to handle that, and turns out that we, in this kind of issue where we have this constant, like chronicle bone, right? That is moving and creating, right? That would need to counter animate or make them work simultaneously, right? This thing would lead to, yeah, this baking issue, which I personally don't dislike, because it's like yeah, it's like to solve a problem, but you destroy the only good thing one of the good thing of 3D animation, digital animation, which is the automatic interpolation, right? Then you destroy. So it's annoying to just for me to think about that, that you have to, then you can't really go back easily. You have to redo all the things, yeah, because there's no AI for this very good, right? So it's like it's a bit depressive, but it would be to solve problems, right? That we can't find, right? It's like the caveman solution, maybe, sort of. Now the caveman solution would be to solve the, yeah, like it is baking, but the caveman solution would be yeah, I know this is depreciative, but to the cavemen, to our ancestrals, but the idea is just the, yeah, so manual counteracting. This will be the caveman solution. Then baking would be with some alternatives that will be like a bit more sophisticated, but still like caveman like solution, because they're still denying a solution that is desirable. So it's like Okay, so anyways, we gonna try again. I'm gonna try something here. Okay, this is not the interpreter. See that the thing is there. We're gonna make some arc like here, and for some reason, oh yeah, we need to change here, of course. So there are two motions going on. Okay, strangely, where is my arc? Okay, here is the arc. I don't know, really, maybe it was a stupid coincidence, but that's it. What I did was deny a sort of, yeah, possibly. So you have two motions here. Now we're gonna try to change. We don't need to use the torso bone. We can use this one here and see if that will change anything. Interesting. Okay, actually, in this case, the arc. Okay, so this is not all the case, because these don't move the. Oh, hold on, I wasn't doing this correctly. Let's change it here. Yeah, so here is where, okay, we have the arc, but the thing is that this arc will not be, yeah, it's like it is an arc that was already carved from the, yeah, okay, so it is the arc of the Master IK and what is what it were. Alright, so maybe there's no need to do this after all. So what could affect the hand is just the... Exactly, because the torso wouldn't affect this arc, nor in the beginning, nor in the end. Unless, of course, I do that creepy stuff of pushing. No, not even that, because, yeah, no, not even that. So, you see, it's not affecting the arc. The arc was formed by this, so it's not a problem. The only thing that could affect the arc is actually the parent of it. So my theory in the beginning was correct, so that means that if I were to change, here we'll make another arc, and from this arcing, this will change that arc, but it will change dynamically in relation to what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure here what's going on, but anyways, the problem is that this bone doesn't really have on its own. Yeah, we need to make a pivot from the root bone if we were to assess, yeah, to actually, if we want to arc, this is good for rotating, but it's not good for the motion that we are doing, right? So Okay, so I don't know what's... This should... Okay, let's do this again. Oh, I know what's going on. Of course, we need to reset here. Yeah, so we got the adaptation here and the adaptation there. Okay, so actually I was wrong. There is nothing that I can, because the master IK is immune to this, to the torso, to the master torso, and it is immune to, no, it's not immune to this or this, but center of gravity and wood bone, they are the, they change also the, everything, right? So it doesn't matter. As soon as I have a good arc, I'm not making the arc that might still be something that I'm not considering. No, because then we can still move this, right? Let's try something here. Let's say that I want to push the torso here. Yeah, and the hand stays there, right? It's not the torso that I need to move. If I want to push, it would be this one, right? And then everything is pushed together, right? Yeah. So no, the system is perfect. No, it's not perfect. It's just a bit cumbersome, but with enough practice, I think this is good enough. You see, you use the technique when you really want the curvature, and it's not too hard, and we can use it for simultaneous IK for the masters or for the custom pivot points. And yeah, this is the tricks, the thing that I wanted to share today after this discussion. This took years in custom rigging in Blender to just because my problem is that I took too long to engage in 3D animation, and then when we lots of riggers, it happened to me, folks, right? Yeah, the idea is do some hardcore course or more than one, because like one thing is rigging, but then 3D animation, right? And you need both, because if you just rig for posing, you need to rig and be able to assess the interpolation keyframe. Otherwise, the rig for 3D animation might just fail and might have flaws that are very creepy for 3D animation. So two mistakes I made. Well, not exactly mistakes. I didn't have for a while some resources, and studying like in a school, a professional school, that is very good if possible, because then you not necessarily learn faster, but you get the certain conventions faster, and maybe you can get the raw stuff ready like sooner, and then this can prevent some noobish mistakes. And so the other problem, the other mistake was rigging without 3D animation, right? Doing a lot of rigging for me, right, but not engaging too much that rig into the practice of 3D animation, because it's challenging to 3D animation. They're more complex than rigging, right? Rigging has its own complexities, but it's also somewhat artistical. But no, 3D animation is the big boss, right? So, and even for rigging, right? So there is even the big boss for rigging is you need to have a thing that works also for 3D animation. And that implies another dimension, at least in Blender for rigging, which is this problem of the system of conventional system of interpolation F curve keyframing. It doesn't really respect a lot of features which, if they were to respect, if the Blender stuff worked as something that was keen for animation principles, for animation artwork, then for the animation art form, then there would be an engagement towards rigging developments for 3D animations. Specifically, that would correspond. The closest that I know that we have to this is the proposition of ephemeral rigging of the control rig and nodes setup, right, specific to Unreal Engine. So this probably Cascadeur has something like that too, at least in terms of the tools and options. So ephemeral rigging would be the closest to this kind of so you know, one ephemeral rigging trick here, we can do it. Auto IK option is this stuff here. Let's turn off this. No, it's not working. Something. Oh yeah, I need to turn on Auto IK. So you see, where would be my switch of this is just for the fingertip spinning. There's a little glitch here, but we can solve it for the most part. But it's a bug. We can do this for any bone actually. And I have the I key finger, I have the F key finger. It's all simultaneous, folks. It's like we don't have, we cannot pin any joint on demand, right? But we can decide which, in this chain, which will be, in this chain here, which will be I key and F key. And the system turned even better in Blender, Blender 5.2.0.alpha. What's happening here? It's nuts. I think it's because of some keyframing. No? What's going on here? Oh yeah, I think the chain auto IK line. Yeah, this problem, this will simplify the rig for this. So I have the I inverse kinematics, then we have the reverse kinematics with the yeah, it's not totally working here for some reason. Like it's not. I think I moved this right wrongly, then sort of. Maybe the fingers got. Yeah, it's the. Is this setup needs a protector? It will be solved. This will not be necessary anymore. I know because I tested the alpha. Anyways, we in principle we can do. I just need the tweaker. Oh yeah, it's the keyframing which is causing this thing, right? The tweaker is easier for that. And also, I decided that, yeah, because of the advantage of that new system done by Paul Hanson, rigger, animator, I think, as well, and developer, programmer, he's making these improvements, giga improvements to the Auto IK option, and already coming in Blender 5.2 LTS Alpha. So which is already downloadable. So these improvements are starting to make the Auto IK option like work a bit like ephemeral rigging, but still not yeah, it's a lot of things to do, but apparently the blueprint exists. Some propositions like IK marks, so you can pin on demand some joints. Some things are already in progress. I don't know how much it will take to implement everything, but currently what he has done was to two good features. One of them is, yeah, it's about this bone here. Now it doesn't need these features here, this feature here. It's an unparented bone. Now it can be a parented disconnected. It will work the same. So then we can pin on demand the fingertips just by holding this, right? So we can do this with parent offset now instead of unparented, and this was on Blender today, by the way. And then this makes this rig much simpler, because check this, look at all these bones. Now all these structures here, those lockers, they are protectors, but they don't protect to the very end. We can dismantle all that, dump all that, just because of one single update. And then the other update, which is also all for IK option, right? Auto IK option, is that now we can have, you see that as I pick a bone that has auto IK, well, I have the auto IK option on. As I pick a bone in Blender 5.1.1, you see that this data is grayed out, but this is fake data because actually this data is valid because the auto IK option counts as inverse kinematics. So if I lock the bone, I have, well, this is enabled, right? So yeah, so this affects the rigs, but if I gonna get, for example, this stiffness, if we can see this, you see it's grayed out by default, but actually, yeah, it's sort of stiff. So same for the limits. So all this now will not be grayed out as long as we have, where is this freaking, really this arc should appear somewhere, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, limit, here we go. So you see that if I try to, so it's all grayed out, but actually, now this is grabbing. I can't reach the extremities because it's too stiff. Okay, let's do a G into R. You see, it's limiting to that shield, and it's all grayed out. Wait, what the hell is this? Suddenly, I don't know what happened. Suddenly things are not grayed out anymore. Ah, sorry, it's because there is a, even those bones, they are affected by an IK bone constraint of the head. Yeah, there's a, that is disabled, but okay, so this is fake. Actually, the actual thing will be like this. So these are not affected by any IK bone constraint, and yeah, so it's still grayed out entirely. So this is a big good example. So this, you see, will never, but in Blender 5.2 alpha already, this will be as long as Auto IK option is on, because whichever bone we pick, it just enables the inverse kinematics settings. That's it, folks. So it was long enough, but yeah, very happy that we found a thing that can solve two major issues in the control rig systems in Blender, for both rigging and 3D animation. So thanks for watching, take care, happy blendering, see ya another time. And I need to make small tutorial recording for this, so otherwise it's too long. See ya, folks, and have a nice week.